And a really cool chick will love you for who you are, even if you drive a creepy van.
If a guy picks me up in certain cars for a date, I'm just not going. Like, I'm just not going. Like, I'm sorry, but you can't tell me if someone pulls up in this. Hold on, put it on the screen. Hold on. This Prius, you're no, I'd rather not go on a date. I'm sorry. I know the type of person you are.
It's my last day eating fast food for 1 month. Video about that tomorrow. Hey Campos, we're gonna get your Prius lifted this year, and then I'm gonna hook you up with that girl on TikTok. My buddy's going through a weird Prius phase. He actually has 2 vans. We're gonna get this thing lifted. There you go. Prius camper. Just like a Jeep Wrangler driver, but with much better fuel economy. What should you drive if you want to meet girls and possibly your future wife? Don't drive a lifted van. We'll talk about that later. 7,500 RPM red line on that one. 8,500 on that one, so it sings much higher. And here we go. Sebastian likes this car. I'm just not feeling this one. Shout out to Sebastian's Life 91. Check out his channel. He has access to exotic cars, and I was able to check them out up close, but that's not the answer. You're not going to impress women with an exotic car. Maybe the gold diggers, but for the most part, you're just impressing dudes. Some dudes aren't even impressed by exotic cars. Me and Sebastian were doing a live stream with exotic cars and our lifted vans, and more people were interested in asking lifted van questions than looking at the exotic cars. So if you got a 5.4 Econoline, this is basically the same motor with a fat supercharger on the top. Yeah, we'll go out. I'm gonna go outside one more time, Mike. We'll take a look at the vans again, because that's what you really want to see. You guys don't care about this. You guys don't care. Let's get out of here. Get out of here, Ford. 5.4. Oh yeah, dude. Yo, Mike, your 5.4 is gonna be fine with the 265s. I think 265s is where you want to go if you don't want to re-gear. So if you want something solely to impress women, to meet girls, possibly your future wife, what should you buy? Get a Honda Element. Me and a couple of my buddies went to a Honda Element meet. 3 of these things are not like the other. I'm at the Honda Element meet right now. The Honda Element meet I attended, there was about 80 Honda Elements. And I was joking around with my buddies. I do lifted van meets. Talk about that more later, but I told my buddies, hey man, our lifted van meets, they're a freaking hot dog fest. If you want to meet chicks, get yourself a Honda Element. Here's how I got invited to a Honda Element meet. Most of the content on my channel is hyping up lifted vans. So one day I was having a conversation with one of my buddies at work. We were talking about our hobbies, and he told me he was into camping and hiking, nature. So I told him, you know what you need, man? Sounds like you need a van. And he said, I actually really want a Honda Element. And I said, Honda Elements are actually really cool. I'm familiar with Honda Element meets because I do lifted van meets, so Honda Element meets were getting recommended in my feed. So I made a video about Honda Elements for my buddy because I like talking about cars. So I guess Honda Element content was getting recommended to me because we're rolling in non-traditional vehicles. You know, the popular ones are like Jeep Wranglers, Tacomas, 4Runners. So the guy who runs the biggest Honda Element meets, he saw my video, left me a comment, invited me to a Honda Element meet, so that's how we participated. There you go. I think this is the best setup for one of these things. You got yourself a bed, a little hallway space, it's just usable. And I could bet the farm that these guys get better fuel economy than us. All the sick add-ons on this one. The lifted van meet started off rough. Like I said, it started off as a hardcore hot dog fest, and I almost stopped doing them because it was just attracting the wrong people. One person I was really nice to, met him twice in real life. He ended up turning on me, making a freaking 38-minute video about me. I only got through the first 4 minutes, and then you guys kind of like recapped me on the crap he said. But that dude was like Make-A-Wish, Temu, Primal Outdoors. He wanted to be like Primal Outdoors without the content. He just idled his van in a dirt road. So I asked Miguel, hey man, you run such big meets, man. Have you ever had anyone turn on you, man? So I would ask him for advice. My meets have improved a lot. Anyone who participates in the lifted van meets, you guys are all awesome, and I can't wait to see you guys again in November, possibly May. Never buy a vehicle with the intention of impressing anyone, male or female. Buy something because that's what you're into. But if you're not into any particular vehicle and you want to participate in meets and maybe you're shy and you don't know how to talk to women, get a Honda Element. Shout out to all the cool chicks who support their guy and participate in these lifted van meets. First shout out to my girlfriend Brooke. She was there from the start. She had to endure the jacked up people, hot dog fest era. Like I said, I almost stopped doing these lifted van meets. Then the first significant other to show up to support her guy is Jess. That was a local meet last year, Proctor Valley Haunted lifted van meet. And then in November, there's Wendy, Lori, Carrie, and then last March there was Christina. Wendy was there, Lori was there. I missed Jess and Javier. And then I met Stefan 2 years ago. He didn't bring Michelle, but Michelle hung out with us on an impromptu lifted van meet. And Michelle's super cool. Where's the plane at? At the March meet, there were 2 other significant others. Silver high top van, lifted Econoline, and the ProMaster. Super supportive. Forgot their names. Horrible with names, but I'll remember your guys' names when you participate in more meets. But it's a lot of fun, and it's cool to see this growing. It's just not a bunch of dudes. Yeah, if you want a van or a lifted van, don't buy one with the intention of thinking you're gonna meet chicks. In fact, a lot of the significant others have the same feeling about vans. They said when it's stock height, it has a creepy Buffalo Bill, Silence of the Lamb vibe to it. When they're lifted, they're a lot cooler and it grows on them. One more shout out to Michelle. I remember she said Stefan wanted a Sprinter. He was gonna get rid of his Econoline, but she didn't want him to get rid of it. She didn't want him to get a Sprinter. So she's really supportive of the lifted Econoline.
Can I help you with that?
Would you?
Sure. You look kind of handicapped.
Yeah.
One of the locals spotted me leaving this area a couple of weeks ago, left me a comment. Always feel free to say hi to me if you guys see me. I love talking to you guys. This is more than an automotive channel. It's more than a channel about lifted vans. Sometimes I talk about life, like what vehicle you should buy. If you want to meet chicks, get a Honda Element, not a van. But definitely get a van if that's what you really want. And a really cool chick will love you for who you are, even if you drive a creepy van. Shout out to Ruben. He's been to 2 meets now. Doesn't need a lift kit, needs a lift kit, needs a lift kit. Shout out to Ruben. He's been to 2 meets now. He brought his wife at the last one. Hey Oliver, is that your van's brother? Oliver, bring your wife and kids to the next meet, man. Is that a Sportsmobile 4x4? Nice. secret spot. Yo, Linden, bring the doctor to the next lifted van meet. Two more shout outs. Hector, he brought his wife, and my buddy Carlos. Hey man, I saw you at the Mojave meet. Wish I could make it. I saw you and White Van Mafia there. But Carlos brought his sister to the March meet. Did you get to go to Mojave too?